What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of High Mythology, the show where we get higher than two kids on a magic carpet ride and tell you guys silly stories from mythology and folklore. Tonight, we will be bringing you a story from the 1001 Nights, also known as Arabian Nights. The story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. This was always one of my old school faves from the Arabian Nights thing. I'm sure I just tickled the tip of the iceberg when I learned about it. So kind of excited to hear the whole shebang here.
This has actually been one of the hardest stories for me to write. Not because I can't read the stories. Clearly, there's a bunch of different versions, but all of them are copyrighted, and they all specifically say no recording.
Yeah,
specifically say that.
They copyright the translations too. It's weird shit. Like the story is thousands of years old, but they copyright the translation of the story that they did. It's an interesting thing.
I'm sorry, but if this story is over 2,000 years old, there should be no copyright attachments to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't see Hasad's ancestors looking for fucking Greek mythology money.
Yeah, apparently, because most of it is free market, fair trade law. Most of it's
but this one in particular is incredibly hard.
That it's because of the translations. So any book that you look into, 90% of the books that you'll read the stories out of, like Kim was saying, you'll actually find that they will say in there that the translation is copyright, and even recording of talking about it is against the rules. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I thought maybe if I buy like the original, it would do some help. But that also is copyrighted. So it's been very hard. It's been very hard.
Yeah, but we got it. We found it.
I made it. I found the loopholes.
We translated the stories. We found a good source, too, I believe.
Sir Richard Burton.
Sir Richard Burton. You know he's got to be a good source if they knighted him for it.
Motherfucker.
Or it was just a down year for knighting, and so they were just pretty much throwing him out to people.
All right.
I mean, he's no Sir Sean Connery.
No, he's not. All right, anyway, so this is a long story. All right.
Okay, let's go.
Long, long, long ago, before Persia was Persia, and it was just a small community of merchants and farmers. Probably like 40 people that lived in the area,
Little small communities.
Mm-hmm. So there once lived two brothers, Qasim and Ali Baba, and their dearly departed father had left them a small inheritance in which they quickly blew through because they were impulsive brothers.
Just partying it up all the time.
Yep. So Qasim married the only child, a daughter, to a wealthy antiques merchant.
Oh,
with the hopes that one day his father-in-law would leave his shop and warehouse to them when he passed on.
Get some, Qasim.
So far, he was just running the shop with his wife.
Just running the shop.
Yeah. Ali Baba, however, married a poor woman who was needy as shit.
Yeah, goddamn.
And Ali Baba's job was to go collect firewood. Even for the town, that's his only job. He takes 3 little donkeys.
Why don't you buy me anything nice? I collect firewood for a living, and you were poor before we married. What did you expect?
So one day, when Ali Baba and his 3 donkeys were out collecting firewood, he spotted a huge dust cloud spiraling into the sky, headed right for him. He became scared that it was a group of bandits riding horses, and if they found him, they would surely kill him and take his donkeys. So he ran further into the woods.
Donkeys. This donkey's got value.
That's all he got, man. You gotta keep your working load. He's too poor to fucking afford more if they run off. You know what I mean?
Too poor to afford a camel.
Exactly. So he ran further into the woods until he came upon a huge cliffside. There was nowhere to go. A fucking dead end, bro.
Dead end. Boxed in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
He turned and saw that the dust storm was still coming in his direction, so he hid his 3 donkeys behind some large bushes and thicket and climbed up a tree, some 40 feet up. And from here, he could see everything. When the dust cloud had reached Ali Baba, he could see that it was indeed horsemen, young, powerful, all dressed in black. And Ali Baba came to the conclusion that they were indeed bandits who recently robbed a caravan of merchants and probably left no survivors.
Oh, bunch of assholes. Mm-hmm. Bunch of assholes.
All of their horses were carrying loads of gold and silver, and the bandits took the heavy loads of gold and silver and walked over to the cliff wall. And their leader shouted, "Open ya fucking door!
Open your fucking door!" Also known as Open Sesame.
Yeah, that's the Open Sesame.
Open Sesame!
And suddenly, the rocks began to shift into itself, and a doorway appears. All of the bandits head into the hidden cave, and after a few moments, the rock shifted back outwards, and the wall was once again as it was. Ali Baba...
I don't know why I made it sound so wet. It's a real wet wall.
I guess so. Ali Baba, his thoughts start to conflict, and so he thought he should run right fucking now, but what if they were to, like, come out as he's climbing down? Or if they were to come out moments after he fled and catch up with him as he's riding away.
Or catch up with my donkeys. Because I just got 3 donkeys to try to ride away on.
I know, right? All these men are riding horses. They would surely kill anyone that was in the vicinity of the area. No questions asked.
No question asked.
Just fucking dead. But as he was conflicting, the doorway opened and Ali Baba counted 40 men. And the last one, their leader, turned around to the cave entrance and shouted, "Shut ya fucking door!
Close your fucking door!"
And its entrance disappeared behind the rock wall. Ali Baba stayed in the tree until he could no longer see the dust cloud that the 40 thieves had emitted. Then the pussy felt like it was safe to come down. And he got out of the tree and walked over to the wall and wondered if he said the magic words, will it open for him too? Or is this something only their leader can do? So Ali Baba called out, "Open ya fucking door!"
Open your fucking door!
And the rocks began to peel back and reveals the entrance. Ali Baba goes in, and he was amazed. He had never seen anything like it. It was huge. It had high vaulted ceilings with gold and precious gems adorned in it. And in the center was a statue of a naked man holding the ceiling up, and a naked woman on her knees sucking his dick.
Yeah, it's like he's basically like Atlas. You've heard of when Atlas shrugged? This is when Atlas got head.
Hey, don't blame me. This is not my kind of art.
Yeah.
You can blame copyright.
Yeah. It's an interesting. It's a very interesting sculpture to just
you
come
think
in
about
on
just
too.
a guy trying statue of a guy trying. Does he have like a happy face, or does he have like the vinegar face?
He's holding one hand, it's holding the other, and the one hand's holding the roof up, and the other one's just giving a thumbs up. I imagine too, because of the way you typically look at stuff in awe. You know, he'd be walking in, and the way they describe it, especially. I imagine it the slow come down where he looks at the ceiling, like, look at the huge ceiling, and the hands holding it up, and the giant man, and oh my god, they did not spare the details.
No, Karma Sutra was a thing for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They were highly adorned with that.
The sculptor even managed to catch the spittle running down her chin.
That's so wrong.
It's amazing.
Okay, all right. I knew we would go through that. Continuing on. The cave was filled with all sorts of riches. Fine silks, Persian rugs, gold thrown into piles,
blowjob
shit ton
statues.
of bags filled with gold, silver, rare stones, even rare feathers, and gold embroidered clothes. He came to the conclusion that this much shit could not have been accomplished alone by them. This kind of hoard must have been collected by generations of thieves. And this is where they kept their treasure. So he thinks to himself there's no way that they could miss just a few bags of gold coins. And so he grabs 6 bags.
There's no way they'll notice if I only take 1 bag.
I'm going
to take 6. I got 3 donkeys to feed.
He puts the gold bags on his donkeys and hid them under the bales of firewood. And then Ali Baba walked up to the cave's entrance and said, "Shut ya fucking door."
Shut your fucking door!
And the cave entrance was concealed. Ali Baba hops onto his donkey and rides as fast as they can back home.
Aha! It's like 3 miles
fast.
an hour. Aha! On
Let's say
donkey.
maybe like a mile a minute.
Yeah.
A mile an hour.
He's I guaranteed the whole way back he's thinking about the divorce he's going to file to his wife too. Before I pull out the money, I'm going to divorce her.
When he got home, he unloaded the bales of firewood and brought the bags of gold inside. When his wife noticed them, she instantly called her husband a thief and a murderer, because he clearly had to have murdered someone to have taken that gold.
Oh, God. And that's just shaming right there, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, oh, well, I know you didn't work for this, Alibaba, you lazy sack of shit. I see the way you behave. You haven't bought me anything. So you bring home gold and think it's okay. Why didn't you stop and get me some fucking flowers on your way home? Are you lazy, too?
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. But Alibaba recanted his story to his wife, and she began to count the gold coins. She was enthralled by her husband's good fortune and couldn't stop counting the coins.
God, she's already counting. She's just counting it.
She had to know how much there was. But Alibaba insisted that they bury the money and use it only when they needed to.
Ollie, honey, what's half of 44,000?
But she wouldn't let him bury it until she knew the value. So Alibaba agreed to go ask his brother Kasim if he could borrow their scale to satisfy her fucking curiosity.
Oh, shit. Looping Kasim in on this.
Mm-hmm. The next day, Alibaba's wife went to see Kasim, but he was not there. So Kasim's wife asked her if she could help in some way. Alibaba's wife told her that she couldn't stay. Or she couldn't stay. She couldn't say. But she needed to borrow their biggest scale. So Kasim's wife was intrigued. What could this poor family possibly need a big scale for? So Kasim's wife agreed to let them borrow their biggest scale. She was curious at what they were weighing, so she put a layer...
I think they're selling dope.
So she put a layer of wax across the scale cup to see the imprint left behind.
Oh, sneaky.
And Alibaba's wife did not suspect a thing and cheerfully walked back home. When she was done weighing the gold, Alibaba buried it, and she returned the scale to her sister-in-law, unaware that a gold piece was stuck to the wax on the scale. Kasim's wife inspected the scale and saw the gold piece stuck to the wax, and in the wax, even, was imprinted by ancient kings whose faces have been long out of circulation for quite some time.
Oh, so she's got old money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ancient money, but still gold.
Still gold, still counts. It's still valid.
Fuck, I lost my place. Okay. She became overwhelmed with envy, and when her husband Kasim came home, she yelled at him, saying shit like, "You broke-ass piece of shit, we're poorer than your poor brother."
God damn.
Like, she was pissed. So Kasim was dumbfounded at his wife's sudden rant, until she shows him the scale and what had happened. Now Kasim was overwhelmed with jealousy and envy, and could not sleep. So the next morning, Kasim went to his brother and demanded to know how he came upon all those gold coins. Alibaba played stupid and pretended not to know what Kasim was talking about.
Gold coins, brother?
But then Kasim showed him that the gold coin that was stuck to the scale. And Alibaba did love his brother, so decides to tell his brother everything.
Oh.
As to not, start a war between them. You know what I
me
mean?
and Kasim go way back.
Okay, I'll tell you, brother. Just don't fucking say nothing.
Just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yep.
Play it cool.
Mm-hmm.
Play it cool.
So he tells his brother everything, even the magic words used. And the next day, Kasim set out with 15 donkeys that he had borrowed from friends and set out to where Alibaba told him that the cave would be.
Damn, Kasim.
He was going to rob
no
it
time.
blind.
He is enterprising. Kasim is an enterpriser right there.
For real. And, he uses magic words. Open, ya fucking door.
Open your fucking door.
And just as Alibaba described, the rock wall peeled back and an entrance appeared. Kasim went in, leaving the 15 donkeys out front, and examined the vast wealth inside the cave. After a while, the cave door closed on itself, but when Kasim was far too distracted by all the stuff, so he started bringing the loads over to the entrance door, and when he finished gathering everything, he called out, "Open, ya bitch-ass door!"
Open,
nothing.
Open your... What was it?
Nothing. So he tried again. "Open, ya pussy-ass door!" Nothing. He recited everything but the correct phase.
Open sesame? No, that doesn't work.
The bandits had a successful raid and were going to deposit their spoils. They see 15 donkeys waiting outside their cave entrance and think it's strange.
That's a lot of donkeys. Huh, it must be a herd of wild donkeys.
So the bandits' leader gets off his horse and steps in front of his entrance to the cave and yells, "Open, ya fucking door!" Kasim on the other side could hear the hoofbeats and panicked like a motherfucker when he heard the bandits yell out the right magic words. As soon as the cave entrance appeared, Kasim went flying out of the cave as fast as he could to try and make an escape. However, he ran right into the bandit leader's blade and was cut in half at the stomach.
He's no Emmett Smith. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop out, punt fake, spin move, stiff arm, then I'm going to high step it across the touchdown line. Door opens just straight into the sword. Oh, God, I didn't count on him having a sword out.
And the sword cuts him in half.
Yeah. The bandit probably didn't even know he was coming out. He's just sitting there holding his sword. Like, I feel
What
like
the
something's
fuck?
wrong, guys. I think we're getting invaded by donkeys. Because he just runs out and cuts himself in half.
They thought, how could anyone get into their well-guarded secret? As they stared at Kasim's dismembered body, they said, "Oh well,"
Oh, well.
and tied his upper torso to the right pillar at the entrance of the cave and his lower half to the left pillar, and then took off
That's called sending a message.
after they put everything that Kasim had piled by the door back. When night fell and Kasim did not return, his wife grew worried and feared that he was dead. So she went to Ali Baba for help, and Ali Baba assured her that he was fine, probably taking the back roads, as to avoid unwanted eyes. So he'll be home later. And Kasim's wife seemed to have calmed down and returned home. The next morning, she goes back to Ali Baba and begs him to go look for her husband, who was still missing. And so Ali Baba grabbed his 3 donkeys and headed out. He also needed to collect some firewood anyway, so it was like sort of like a win-win or 2 birds with 1 stone situation. As Ali Baba collected the firewood,
Like all the town's donkeys are now invested in this operation. Like everyone's at town, like, can you hurry up? I have work to do and my
Right.
donkey is still gone.
right? So as he collected firewood, he made it his way to the cave entrance. He didn't see any of Kasim's donkeys around, and so he cried out, "Open, ya fucking door!" And the cave entrance revealed itself. Standing there, he saw Kasim's dismembered body hanging there, and instantly broke down crying. After a minute, he gathered Kasim's body and wrapped them and stored them under the bushels of firewood that the donkeys were carrying. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Ali Baba took his brother's body to his brother's wife. I have to name it like that because these bitches don't have names.
Yeah.
I guess I should just name them, but I was so into
That's
it.
okay.
I was just going. They're not really important characters. So he took him to his brother's wife, and he was greeted by his brother's servant, Morgiana, at his brother's courtyard because they fancy.
They fancy.
Ali Baba takes down the pieces of his brother and laid them before her. Kasim's wife came down and saw Ali Baba with her husband laying there in 2 pieces and softly cries.
But where's the donkeys?
Ali Baba warned them that if the bandits find out, that they would all die. And so he grabs his donkeys and goes home. So nobody is to know about Kasim's death. You know what I mean? 'Cause if
Yeah, they
anyone
gotta
finds
keep it a
out,
secret because
nobody
the
knows.
thieves will come. They'll
find
come
it.
and attack
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Wait,
also, though, that's a good question that the grieving wife brings up is what about the donkeys? Did they take the donkeys? Is there any chance we could convince them to give the donkeys back?
I think they just scattered.
The donkeys just scattered. They're wild donkeys now. Mm-hmm. They live free like God intended.
The next day, Morgiana went to the pharmacist and asked for medication. She told the pharmacist that her master hasn't spoken or eaten in days, and she feared for his life. The next day, Morgiana went to the pharmacist again for more medicine. This time she was crying, saying that he might not make it by the time she got back with more medicine. And then the next day,
I think she's addicted to opiates.
she's super smart.
Yeah.
She's very sly, very witty. Morgiana goes to see Baba Mustafa, the village tailorer for the dead. His job is, like, for them, they have to make crematal gowns.
Uh-huh.
Special cremation.
Yeah.
For burial rites and shit. Anyway, so he's a special tailorer for the dead. She gave him 2 gold coins to come with her and told him to keep his silence. And he agreed and followed her home. It's old. Can't remember where the fuck he is half the time, so.
Whatever. What? Which way to the country kitchen?
I got this coupon right here.
It's Tuesday night. That's bingo night, I'm pretty sure. Now come see this corpse.
I need you to fucking tailor him.
I need you to tailor this corpse for me.
So he agreed and followed her home, where she tells him that her master had recently become ill and died. So Babba Mufasa took Kasim's measurements and left. Morgana gave him 1 more coin for the rush order on the ceremonial gown. And the next day, the funeral rites were held, and a small group of people came down to mourn him. And they have a special thing where they mourn for 40 days so nobody leaves their homes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what happened. Okay, so after the 40 days of mourning, as is tradition...
He caught a strange sickness. It was the strangest one I've ever heard of. It's like, they say he coughed himself into 2 pieces.
Well, nobody has to see it. So,
yeah.
Okay, so, as is tradition, 40 days of mourning, Ali Baba appointed Kasim's eldest son to run the antique shop. And he becomes the head of the household, so to speak. So him and his wife come to live there.
Oh, okay.
In Kasim's home. But I never hear from Ali Baba's wife again. So I don't know.
Wait, they come to live in Ali Baba's house?
No, they go to live in Kasim's house with the courtyard and shit.
Oh.
It's actually a really nice house. Okay. Nice villa kind of thing. And
so Kasim had the nicer house.
Yes, he was married to the merchant's daughter.
That's right. He had the merchant's daughter.
Yeah. He could afford to borrow 15 donkeys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He could afford a sturdy donkey loan.
So yeah, so he left his nephew in charge of the shop, the antique shop, to make some money, shit like that. Start fresh, because he was also smart, like his grandfather, at running the shop,
running business,
sales, buying,
he's good at
shit
business.
Like
He's a good business guy, real business oriented.
Exactly.
Not like Ali Baba, whose head's always in the clouds.
And he was not interested in running that shop.
No, he's all about getting firewood.
But as he became head of household, he has earned, had to take on all of the responsibilities there. I forgot what we were just talking
about. Head of household?
Oh, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, the 40 thieves come back to their cache and discover that Kasim's body is gone, as well as an abundance of gold is missing.
Oh, so Ali Baba took him too.
He took a little more
okay,
gold.
I only need one donkey for Kasim's body. I can load up the other 2.
Yeah, it never mentioned that at all, going through the original.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, well, fuck it. You know what? I'll just add it in just like they did.
Yeah.
It's a sudden add-in. He suddenly has a bunch more gold.
Suddenly, he took a lot more gold.
And,
Kasim's he's rolling on a fine-looking horse now. He's not even fucking with them donkeys anymore.
So the thieves came up with a plan. Find out who else knows about the cave and kill them. Half the men disguised themselves as merchants and scattered throughout the land to see if any of the villagers recently buried anyone. One of the disguised merchant bandits happened upon the right village, and it was super early in the morning, so no one was open in the village market just yet, except for Mr. Babba Mustafa, who was in his shop sewing. So the thief asked Babba Mustafa if anyone in town had died recently, and the old tailor said yes, but he can't remember the name.
Who are you? Are you my grandson Jimmy?
And then the bandit gave him a gold coin and asked if he knew what house he had passed away at was. Babba Mustafa admits that his memory isn't what it used to be and couldn't recant where the house is. The thief gave him 2 more gold coins.
What town do we live in?
And begged him to remember. So Babba Mustafa got up and took the thief on a walk to try and find the house. And after some time, Babba Mustafa found Kasim's house and told the thief that he was pretty sure it's this house. And the thief asked for any more information, but Babba Mustafa couldn't recall. So the thief gave him one more gold coin and sent him on his
He's
way.
just rich, just wandering down. I don't know how to get home.
That's like the opposite of what scammers do to them. You know what I mean? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's probably how the Home Shopping Network was created. On his way home, someone was like, look at this old dude. He's loaded. Hey, old guy, check out this necklace. You need a bolo tie.
So then the bandit marked the Kasim's door with a white X and then went back to tell the leader of his gang. Morgiana just so happened to have been coming home from her morning shopping and saw the white X on her door. Thinking it was something terrible was about to happen to her masters, she quickly finds some white chalk and draws a white X in the same fashion on all of her neighbors' doors as well.
Smooth.
No one ever saw her do it, and then she never told her masters about it either. The bandit ran back to his posse and told them the news and how he marked the door with a white X. The 40 thieves banded together and headed out to kill the plunderer. Whoever plundered them.
That plunderer, that goddamn plunderer.
When they arrived, they saw that the white X's were on all the houses. So they went back to their cave to regroup.
I think he missed something when we sent him out with the instructions.
There, the leader of the thieves killed the bandit who had placed the white X on the door, and then asked if anyone else would like to try.
No, we're good.
And find the culprit. One thief said he would try and left in search of clues. He too came upon Babba Mustafa and gave him lots of gold coins.
Why are you all giving me so much money?
And Babba Mustafa, again, took the second bandit to Kasim's house and again was rewarded with more gold coins. This time the bandit had a red chalk and marked the door with a T. The letter T.
Oh, the letter T.
Right next to the...
For thief.
Right next to the white X.
But they're thieves. Oh. That's the thief hating. Thief hating on thief.
And then he left to tell his gang. And again, Morgiana came home from her morning shopping and saw that the red T, so she grabbed some red chalk and did the same thing to all the neighbors' door.
Morgiana's she is the brains of this entire operation.
She is, for real.
She doesn't even understand half the shit she's doing. She's just like, it just seemed like the thing to do at the time.
And again, no one saw her do it, and she didn't tell her masters about it. So when the thieves came back that night, and they discovered all the houses also had a red T on them, they regrouped back at the cave. And the leader, again, killed the second bandit just like last time.
Does no one understand what I'm saying? One mark on one door. That's all I'm asking for.
They were pissed at this point, and so the leader tells them that he will go instead. And he too met with Babba Mustafa and gave him a shit ton of gold coin.
I'm filthy rich already. I don't know what's going on.
And he led the leader of the bandits to Kasim's house. He thanked Babba Mustafa and gave him even more gold coin. And then the leader stayed there for a moment and took a mental picture of the house without marking the door at all. And after a while, he left and regrouped with his posse. He told his followers to go out, buy 19 donkeys, 1 jar of oil, and 37 empty jars of oil.
Hey, now, that sounds like a Tijuana party right there.
Nice.
I need 19 donkeys, a jar of oil, some honey, 1 gallon of mayonnaise.
I did not say any of that. Okay.
A rubber glove.
He asked for 37 empty jars of oil because the other 2 thieves were already dead. There was only 38 of them left. So he told his men that they would hide in the empty jars themselves. And the 1 jar... And, so two jars on a donkey at a time. One on either side of the donkey. These are big jars.
Yeah, they're big jugs. They're like huge, the huge vases.
Huge. You can hide a man in it, clearly.
They got dudes inside them, so they're pretty big.
Yeah, they're big shit. And those are usually found in houses, like the richer establishments. Each one had one of those in their household, and it would usually last them 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
1 big jug of oil?
Yeah.
Because everything was oil-based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was your lights?
And, What was I going to say? So they were going to hide in the barrels, 2 jars on a donkey at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to lead them as
the army of donkey barrels.
Yeah, as a merchant, an oil merchant. But he'd have the 1 jar of real oil to show anyone who asked.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
That's the trick. That's how
Just
they get you.
in case.
I've had that happen to me before. Where I go to buy a jug of oil, and I get home, and I open it up, and there's a fucking dude inside it. And I'm like, I thought this was all the oil he showed me was olive oil.
So yeah, the rest of their plan was that they would find a way to somehow leave the oils and the donkeys outside of Kasim's house and rob and kill them all in the night.
Oh, sneaky.
So the men went out in search of everything their leader asked for. It took them 3 days to find it all. And by the evening, the bandits made their way in front of Kasim's house, where Ali Baba just so happened to be outside front walking in circles. Pondering shit.
He's just pondering as Ali Baba does. He's thinking about leaving his wife is what it is.
Probably. The Bandit King, I'll just start calling him Bandit King at this point.
Bandit King, nice, I like that.
I get tired of saying leader.
Leader.
So the Bandit King tells Ali Baba that he often sells oil in this town, but didn't make it to the village on time, and must wait until morning to sell the oil. He wondered if it wasn't too much to let him stay in their barn and let the 19 donkeys rest with the oils of jars off their backs.
Yeah, give the donkeys a break. They got all that weight on their backs. Each donkey's got 2 dudes on it.
We didn't even mention the weed that we were smoking, dude.
That's 2 dudes a donkey. We're smoking pixie sticks. That's right.
Pixie
yeah.
sticks is delicious.
It tastes like candy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help that we were eating a bunch of nerds before we were smoking it.
Nerds and pixie sticks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Ali Baba was like most generous and quickly said, of course. So he brought all the donkeys into their courtyard and told the stable boy to feed and water all the animals.
Stable boy!
And Ali Baba turned to Morgiana and told her to make some dinner for their guests and ready a room in the main house for him.
And also, Morgiana, I really wish I had married you.
Ali Baba and his guest finished eating dinner, and Morgiana took the Bandit King to his room to bid him good night. And then she returned to Ali Baba and asked if there was anything else that she could get him. And he told her that he had planned to go to the bathhouse tomorrow morning and that he would like some broth upon his return. I want some chicken broth when I get home, bitch.
I want
just make sure
broth,
that happens.
And I want it fucking hot.
Yep. So, and then Ali Baba says good night and retired.
Good night. I retire.
Morgiana, as the maidful servant, brought Ali Baba's clean clothes to the stable boy, as the stable boy was to go with Ali Baba in the morning and help clean him. This was his duties.
Okay.
His personal manservant. He scrubs his balls for him.
Oh, yeah, ball scrubber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta have a good ball scrubber in your life.
Okay, and then she went to work on preparing the broth. After some time, the oil in her lamp went out, and there was no more oil left in the household jar. So she went to borrow some from the oil merchant and went to the barn. As she walked along the jars, one of the thieves heard her and thought it was their leader. And he asked through the jar if it was time to ambush yet.
Is it time to kill everyone in the household, master?
No.
Although Morgiana was alarmed at the voice coming from the jar, she knew it was the thieves from the cave coming to kill them all.
She's
So she told
she's
him,
smart, yeah.
She told him in a deep voice, like their leaders, that the time is not yet ready.
Not yet ready.
And she found the one real jar of oil and filled her lamp with it. Because she did see, apparently she saw it. I don't know. She knew one of the jars had to be real.
Yeah.
And then she was, well, the story explains that each one of the fucking cauldrons ask her if it's ready as she's going down. And each time she tells them, not yet, not yet, not yet.
Not
I
yet.
don't
I
wanna
just pulled
explain
that
that.
fucking last guy.
But
Where's
anyway.
the oil?
She came across the last barrel was full of oil, so she opened it and filled her lamp with it. And then she left and went back to the
Go
kitchen.
through everyone. Not yet. Not yet. Just 38 times.
Yeah, for real. And then she went back to the kitchen where she grabbed the biggest cauldron she could find and began heating it over the fire. For some reason, they have a shit ton of cooking oil, so she fills the cauldron with cooking oil.
Yeah.
Pan fry oil. And when it starts to brown, that's fucking hot as fuck.
That's hot oil.
That's fucking hot.
That's hot oil.
She pours the hot-ass oil into the jars that were filled with men, and scalding them all to death.
Oh, Jesus, she fries some motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you said you're in a fucking oil jar?
They had
you
no
think you're
time
an oil
to
jar?
react.
Here's a fucking jar of oil.
Dude, they had no time to react to the boiling oil, searing their flesh off.
Yeah, well, obviously they're poor communicators, so that's kind of on them. I imagine it's just like them all asking her if they're ready. Like, she's just going down the line, and each one's just like, Master, are you ready? Ah, you're pouring burning oil all over me. Oh my God, it hurts. And then she walks to the next guy who's literally like a foot away, and he has just ignored that whole conversation.
I know,
Master,
right?
Are you ready?
I guess so. Like,
Are you guys partially deaf?
where am
These
I?
jars are thick. We can't hear anything.
When Morgiana, like a boss, was done, she continued to cook Alibaba's broth for tomorrow. And a few hours go by, and the Bandit King wakes up. Fucking crazy, right? You just killed 37 people, and you're going back to cooking your broth.
And now I'm going to go finish that fucking broth, because I'm a beast. Fuck Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. This shit should have been called Morgiana and the 40 Thieves.
I know, for real.
Yeah.
When the Bandit King wakes up after a few hours, he opens his window and looks about to make sure that no one is around. And then he claps his hands really loud. It was a signal to his men to attack. But nothing moved. So he shouted, "Now!"
No!
Really quick. Still, nothing moved. And so he went quietly down to the barn, thinking his men just fell asleep. But as he approached the first jar, he could smell the burning flesh.
Is someone frying up chicken?
And could feel the heat that was emitting from the jars. It was still boiling hot.
Well, yeah, they're well-insulated jars, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. So he knew that their fates were all sealed, and he felt all the jars, and they all were scalding hot. The Bandit King feared for his own life, so he hopped the wall and made for his escape.
I'm out of here!
Morgiana saw the whole thing. She's downstairs with she put her lamp out. She was like, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to see
She's
what
just sitting
happens.
down there. I imagine she's just sitting down there, just slurping broth out of a spoon, just watching it. Just like the cold, calculated serial killer she
For
actually
real.
is. Just, yeah, you run. It's not going to help you.
Once she knew he was gone, she went to check the locks on the front door and then went to bed. The next morning, yet still dark, Alibaba and the stable boy left to go to the bathhouse and did not return until noon. When he got home, he noticed that all the oil from the oil merchants' shit was still there. And he asked Morgiana about it. She told Alibaba to stay quiet and follow her. And she brought him over to one of the oil jars and told him to look inside.
Check this out. Oh my God, Morgiana, you were fucking twisted.
Yeah, that's exactly
Look
it.
at
That's
it.
pretty much how.
Look at his eyes.
Well, no, she didn't say that. She did say, no, look at his sword he's carrying. He's adorned in armor and shit.
Oh.
They were here to kill you.
I
fucking saved you.
I fucking saved your bitch ass.
Shit, where am I?
And I boiled these people alive, and part of me enjoyed it. I may have a problem, Alibaba.
So she brought him over to the jars and oil, told him to look aside. He gasped and was horrified and then demanded an explanation. She told him everything about the marks on the door, running out of oil, hearing the men's voices in the jars, and using the cooking oil to burn them all to death. She was super worried that they would kill everyone there, and Alibaba was overjoyed at her for saving his life.
Mm-hmm. And then he looked at her and he's like, 37, you say? You want to make it an even 38?
But
wife's still upstairs.
now they needed to get rid of everything
His
discreetly.
wife.
So Alibaba and the stable boy dig a big-ass pit in the garden and put all the bodies in it, bury them, making it look as if the garden was never disturbed in the first place. Then, one by one, sometimes two by two, Ali Baba sent his stable boy to sell the donkeys in the empty jars until they were all gone. And no one ever noticed. No word of mouth, no noise, no one knows.
You know what I would have done, right? Super fucked up. I would have took all the donkeys, led them back to the cave, left the jars of people fudge in the cave, and took all the gold and bounced. And then the next person who happens to be lucky enough to be like, this is the secret cave. Open your fucking door. Oh my God, that smells horrific.
That's gotta be terrible. No way. Oh yeah, Morgiana also told Ali Baba that the Bandit King did escape, and that he was possibly with two others. They didn't know that the Bandit King had killed the other two.
Aha.
You know what I mean? So he needed to be on guard.
On guard!
And after a couple of days, the angry Bandit King came up with another plan. So he grabbed a few horses and filled it with rare and pretty things to sell at the merchant. As a merchant in town. He set up his shop across from Kasim's antique shop. Just super lucky to get that spot. He had no idea that was actually Kasim's place.
Yeah. It probably actually wasn't lucky for him. Because Kasim's got that market cornered down, you know. He's setting up over there and he's like, I'm going to take them and I'm going to pretend to be a merchant. And then he shows up and he's like, God damn, no one wants to buy my wares. Kasim's place just has a line out the door.
So Ali Baba's nephew was running the shop at the time, and he started to become good friends with the Bandit King, who took the name of Khawaja, by the way.
I am Khawaja, the Bandit King. I mean, I'm probably not a CEO of Bandit King Industries.
So one day, Ali Baba visited with his nephew to see how he was doing, as he often stopped by to see how he was. After he left, Khawaja asked Ali Baba's nephew who he was. Who the guy he was talking to was.
Who's that motherfucker?
And he tells him it was his uncle. And then Khawaja invites Ali Baba's nephew to have dinner with him. And Ali Baba's nephew wanted to return the kindness and host him for dinner. But his home was too small, so he asked Ali Baba to host him for dinner instead.
Can we do it at Ali Baba's house?
And Ali Baba happily agreed to help. The next day, Ali Baba told Morgiana that they would be hosting his nephew and his friend that he admired and with great respect.
Have you seen my wife also? I mean, I was only kind of batting around jokes when I mentioned making her disappear. I haven't seen her in quite some time. You wouldn't have anything to do with that, would you, Morgiana? Yeah. A lady never tells.
And that she was to prepare a feast for them all. When the time drew near, Ali Baba's nephew and Khawaja walked about in the garden until it was time for dinner. Then they walked forward towards the door, where Ali Baba greeted them graciously. When Khawaja saw him, he grabbed at his clothes where he had concealed a dagger that he would later kill.
Ha! My dagger!
Want to kill Ali Baba with. And Ali Baba invited them in. And they all sat around the table, conversing and complimenting each other. There was a lot of bullshit talking of there is.
I like to imagine that they're just hitting it off super well. God, man, we get along great, actually.
They were. That's exactly what was happening. They were conversing, complimenting. They were fucking talking good things about each other.
If not for this whole cave business, Ali Baba and Khawaja might have been good friends.
Not likely.
You never know, Kim. You never know.
He was only there to get close to him.
He is.
After a while, Khawaja started to get cold feet and wanted to leave.
Yeah, see?
And Ali Baba
he started to like Ali Baba.
He still wanted to kill him. And he asked Khawaja if there was anything that he could do to make him stay. And Khawaja told him that he didn't want to impose, but his doctor told him that he couldn't eat salt.
I can't have salt.
In my diet, it makes me nauseous.
I get nauseous when I eat salt.
So Ali Baba assured him that the cooks had not yet started the meat. So he quickly got up and ran down to Morgiana to tell her not to add salt to anything. She was disgusted, but agreed to do as her master wished.
Morgiana, you're my girl.
Now
I like
she was
you
curious.
more and more. It just right away, no, okay. That's fucking disgusting. You know what? I'm starting to second guess who your fucking guest is. They don't like salt. What kind of fucking evil motherfucker doesn't like salt? I bet that's the goddamn Bandit King out there with his non-salt having ass.
Well, just so happened she was curious who doesn't add salt to their meat.
Exactly.
It seemed way too suspicious to her.
Yeah,
So she went to have a look at the man. And when the food was ready, her and the stable boy set the table, and I don't remember his name. I never wrote it down.
Stable boy.
I just kept calling him Stable Boy. I was like, yeah, Stable Boy.
It's actually Rob Stable Boy. So
I think of that guy from the fuck is it called? The Iron Fist. As a stable boy.
Oh,
hey.
Yeah. Shirt just always a little bit too open.
Yeah.
I've tended to the horses, ma'am. Is there anything else I can do for you?
That's who I think of. I fucking pictured this guy. I was like, ooh. Yep. Stable Boys is where it's at.
Stable Boy is where it's at. Stable Boy is where wife's probably at.
Probably. So when the food was ready and her and the stable boy set the table, they brought out all the food. Morgiana instantly recognized Kawaja as the oil merchant.
See, I knew it. I told you.
There's something
fucking
wrong.
Non-salt eating motherfucker had to be the Bandit King.
What I can't seem to fathom is that why isn't Alibaba recognizing this guy? He saw him from the top of a tree. He knew what the original Bandit King looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's been there. I think he just prettied himself up. Maybe.
Stupid.
And Morgiana's just way smarter than everyone else.
She is. And then she could spot the dagger that was hidden inside his robe, and knew that he was up to no good.
I like to imagine that he's very horrible at concealing stuff, and Alibaba's just that bad at figuring stuff.
He's fucking loves me.
Come on in, guys. We're fucking friends. You're my buddy now.
When she finished serving dessert, she ran and changed into a belly dancer's garments. The bling bling across her whips.
Whip that tummy out.
And she told the stable boy to play the tambourine. So I'm also imagining like this hot bitch being played by the tambourine.
Yes.
That is the Iron Fist guy.
And fucking Selma Hayek.
God, that's how I got to picture it, man. You know what I mean? Well, Morgiana's quite young. Well, yes, Selma Hayek does still look pretty fucking young. She's got great genes.
Is fucking immortal.
She's got great genes.
Yes, she does.
I'm surprised you don't call her Cher, too. No, she's not a robot. She's definitely not a robot.
Cher's a robot, and Selma Hayek's a goddess. There's a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she told the stable boy to play the tambourine while she danced for the guests, and he agreed. After their dessert, the stable boy cleared the table and told Alibaba that Morgiana wished to dance for them all. Alibaba was excited and told him to play.
So I haven't seen a naked woman in years.
Starts to play the tambourine. And Morgiana begins to shake her ass. Woo!
Get some.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah, a little Shakira action going down over there on the table. Just get down.
Just wait. She pulls out a big-ass sword and starts dancing with it, as is tradition.
Yes, as is tradition.
And looking graceful as shit. Then she grabs the tambourine from the stable boy and turns it over to accept money for her performance.
Yep.
She holds it out in front of Alibaba, and he drops a couple gold coins into it. Then she dances over to his nephew, and he drops a couple coins into the tambourine. And then finally she dances over to Kawaja. And as he was looking for his coin purse, she lunges the big-ass fucking sword into him, killing him. Everyone starts freaking out. But Morgiana's like, nah, brah. This is totally the oil merchant.
I told you guys, if you don't eat salt, you fucking killed somebody. But you never eat salt, Morgiana. Wink, wink.
She's like, check his robe. He's got a dagger. He's come here to kill you, and he's clearly using your nephew to get close to you. And Alibaba's like, wow, bitch.
How did I not
twice
notice?
You saved me. You're my slave no longer. Here, take my nephew for your husband. You clearly good luck.
Oh, so he gets to marry the
nephew, the young nephew. She's young, he's young. Made sense.
She's young, he's young. Alibaba's cool.
And you need to be a part of this family for your bravery.
Yeah.
I said Chinese.
I know, he's still Chinese all of a sudden. He's not even just Chinese, he's like
Well, I never
derogatory
gave him like
Chinese.
fucking words.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was the only lines that I
yeah.
decided to write in there. But anyway, his nephew agreed to the marriage, and in a few short weeks that they were married. Years went by, and Ali Baba never went to the secret cave, in fear that there was indeed more thieves. Finally, he mustered some courage and went to go see. He discovered that the cave hadn't been touched since he was last there. So he told his sons about this place and its magic words and taught them to recite the words. And then the knowledge passed down to his sons' sons, and then to their sons, and then the end.
Oh, so you're saying that secretly somewhere in the world there's a family that still has access to that cave.
Somewhere below Persia, apparently, because it said long ago, before Persia was Persia.
Yeah.
If I were to actually tell you the fucking first line of it, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Long thither tides have passed long before Persia even existed.
Yes.
Like,
Arabia. Arabian Nights, like Arabian Nights.
And instead of saying he said, she said, it says, quoteth he. I'm not joking. I had to read that the whole fucking time.
Quoteth he.
Like, what the fuck? And you goddamn copyrighted this?
Yeah. Well, that was
How's
old school.
anyone
That's
going to
I'm pretty sure even his copyright has to be invalid at this point. Because that was probably translated in like the 1800s or some shit.
I don't know.
But
Anyway.
yeah. So what was our source for it, Kim? What's the name of the book?
Fucking Sir Richard Burton.
Sir Richard Burton. And what was the name of the book?
Oh, it's called The Arabian Nights. It's the original, the entire transcript of
Oh shit, it's the OG Arabian Nights book.
Yeah, the original transcript.
Yeah, by Sir Richard Burton.
Mm-hmm. From
Sir
Middle East
Richard
to
Burton.
English.
From Middle East to English. If you read it, get ready for some hithers, tithers, nithers, and nithers.
Yeah, it's fucking complex.
Thou
What
go
the fuck?
hither and quoteth hither for tither and twither.
Mm-hmm.
Bond dither.
Sweet. Don't forget to like and
Sweet,
subscribe.
yeah. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Follow us. Give us some comments. Let us know what you think.
If I get enough comments, I'll send you guys a sticker.
Yeah.
Got stickers coming. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we got bumper stickers on the way, so look forward to that. Give us a shout out.
Yeah.
And you might get a bumper sticker coming your way. So
we got some more merchandise that we're working on too. So
yeah,
look out for that. That's
all
coming
kinds
soon.
of cool, fun high
Near
mythology
future.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope all of you folks enjoyed this, and
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We love you and we appreciate you. And also, this is another thing to shout out. Huge thanks to all of you for helping push us over 1,000 downloads.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes, 1,000 downloads. We love you guys, and apparently you love us too, and it's showing. So
Yep.
keep up the good work, and we'll try to do the same.
Yeah.
Good night.
Have a good night.